she was only 22 years old when everything changed. One crisp autumn morning, she woke up feeling a strange weakness in her body, a persistent ache she couldn't explain. At first, she brushed it off as exhaustion from late nights spent painting, or maybe the stress of her part-time job. But the pain grew worse, spreading through her ribs and chest, until finally she went to the doctor. The diagnosis hit her like a freight train. Aggressive cancer. The words echoed in her mind, a cold, terrifying sentence that felt unreal. She was so young. How could this be happening to her? The doctors laid out the plan: immediate chemotherapy, radiation, and surgery if needed. Every option carried its own risks, but she had to fight. She had no choice. The chemo began soon after. It was brutal. The drugs attacked not only the cancer but her entire body, leaving her weak, nauseated, and drained beyond belief. She spent hours in sterile hospital rooms hooked up to IVs, the metallic taste in her mouth a constant reminder of the battle inside her veins. The chemotherapy stole more than just her health, it took her hair, her energy, her confidence. Her thick, curly hair fell out in clumps, leaving her scalp raw and exposed. At first, she hid under scarves and hats, ashamed of the visible sign of her illness. But gradually, she stopped trying to hide. That bald head became a badge of honor, a symbol of her unyielding will to survive. Every time she saw herself in the mirror, the reflection reminded her that she was still fighting, still standing, even when everything inside screamed to give up. Yet the battle wasn't just physical. The financial cost was crushing. The bills piled up faster than she could count: hospital stays, chemo drugs, specialist visits, medications to manage side effects. Her family tried to help, but they were far from wealthy, and the medical expenses soon threatened to consume everything. Art had always been her sanctuary. Long before cancer, she would lose herself in colors and shapes, creating worlds on canvas that reflected her dreams and emotions. Now, it became her refuge from the endless pain and fear. Each brushstroke was a scream, a whisper, a prayer. Painting was how she told her story when words failed. One morning, after a particularly difficult night of nausea and trembling, she realized she had to do something. The money was running out, and the next round of chemo was just days away. She gathered her paintings, abstract pieces bursting with emotion, each one a window into her soul, and took them to the city park, a busy place where she hoped strangers might see her work and, maybe, help. Setting up a small table on the cracked pavement, she arranged her paintings as neatly as she could. Her hands shook, not just from chemo fatigue, but from nerves. What if no one bought anything? What if they saw her bald head and turned away? Most days, the crowd moved like a river around her. People hurried past, absorbed in their own lives. Some glanced at her paintings, some offered kind smiles or words. A few stopped and bought a piece, their money folding into a growing pile that barely covered her treatment costs. The cold was biting that day, and she wrapped her thin jacket tighter around herself. Every cough hurt, but she forced a smile for the few who paused to admire her work. She painted with fire inside her, colors that screamed pain, strokes that breathed hope. Then, something unexpected happened. A ripple ran through the crowd as a man approached, a man who didn't quite fit the ordinary park visitors. Jason Statham, known for his tough on-screen characters and quiet off-screen kindness, was filming nearby. Somehow, he had noticed her. Jason moved calmly through the crowd, his eyes locking on her head, bare and brave. His usual steely gaze softened. He picked up one of her paintings, an explosion of fiery reds and oranges that seemed to capture both the chaos and the hope burning inside her. "This is incredible," he said, voice low but sincere. "You're really talented." She barely managed a nod, her throat tight. Before she could say more, Jason surprised her, and everyone watching, by pulling out his wallet and buying every single painting she had. But it didn't stop there. Jason crouched down beside her and asked quietly if he could talk to her parents. Moments later, her family gathered around, wary but hopeful. He listened carefully as they told him about the mounting medical bills, the endless appointments, the fear and exhaustion. Then he looked at them with a quiet resolve. "I'll cover whatever you need for her treatment," he promised. No one should have to fight this alone. The crowd around them grew silent, then erupted into quiet applause. Tears streamed down her face, tears of relief, disbelief, and gratitude. For the first time in months, she felt a glimmer of hope that maybe, just maybe, she could win this fight. News of the encounter spread quickly, reaching far beyond the park. Inspired by Jason's generosity and her bravery, strangers from all over started donating money, sending messages of support, and sharing her art. Local galleries offered to showcase her work, recognizing not just her talent, but the powerful story behind it. With the financial burden lifted, she focused entirely on healing. Each day, she painted new pieces, each more vibrant and hopeful than the last. Her art became a beacon for others facing hardship, a testament to resilience and the unexpected kindness of strangers. Months passed. The treatments took their toll, but she never gave up. Friends, family, and even Jason checked in regularly, reminding her she was not alone. Her health slowly improved, and with it, her spirit soared. Her art found new homes, raising even more funds for cancer research and patient support. What began as a desperate struggle to survive had blossomed into a story of hope, courage, and humanity. And through it all, the image of that young woman, bald-headed but unbowed, standing in the busy park with her paintings, fighting for her life, and inspiring the world, remained a powerful reminder that even in the darkest moments, kindness can light the way.